So, is After Effects 2026 finally the update that lets us delete our other 3D software? Okay, maybe not delete it, but for the first time in history, we might actually be able to stay inside the timeline without absolutely losing our minds. So Adobe just dropped version 26.0, and if you thought these updates were just going to be bug fixes and icons changing colors, then you are completely wrong, as we are talking about features we've been begging for since CS6. But here's the thing. A lot of these features are hidden in menus you've probably never even clicked before. So today we aren't just reading the patch notes, we're gonna be building a scene from scratch using only the new tools to see if they actually hold up in a real world situation. So let's go. Now, the biggest headache in After Effects has always been simple 3D objects. If you wanted a sphere, you had to fake it with a weird 2D effect or pay for a plugin. It was clunky, slow, and honestly, it always looked fake. But now in 26.0, look at the toolbar. Right next to our shape tools, we now have parametric 3D meshes.
And you can just click and drag to create it, and boom, a 3D cylinder.
And because it's parametric, you can change the radius, the height, and these segments live in the timeline. No polygon modeling required. You can even slice them, bevel them, and create these cool low poly abstract shapes almost instantly. But, and here is the massive problem we usually run into, it looks like a gray blob, like 1995 CGI. So how do we fix that without spending years learning UV mapping? Enter Substance 3D Materials. We can now import SBSAR files directly, and for those of us balling on a budget, you don't even need to buy them. If you have a Creative Cloud subscription, you actually already have access to thousands of these for free, which is great. Thank you, Adobe. So watch this.
I'll just open up Material Assignment and select my desired material right here.
It's not just a JPEG slap-on, it's parametric. So I can go into the properties
and change the texture scale, rotation, offset, and projection mode to fine tune.
And honestly, it almost feels illegal to be able to do this inside of After Effects. But then we hit another wall. A 3D object without shadows just looks like a sticker on your screen, which sucks. And in the past, Advanced 3D didn't support real shadows from lights, so it was kind of a deal breaker. But the twist, Adobe fixed it, and in 26.0, spotlights, and wait for it, parallel lights, which act like the sun, now cast true physically based shadows. That is a real soft shadow falling across the floor. And if you're asking me, we're getting dangerously close to a real render engine here.
We even have a shadow diffusion slider here we can use to manually feather our shadow as much as needed. Also, it's worth mentioning that we aren't limited to just the basic 3D parametric shapes and can also import pre-built 3D models and apply these new textures and settings to them to create some really great results.
Okay, so the 3D stuff is flashy, but what about the work that most of us do every day? Motion graphics. So if you've ever tried to import a vector file or an SVG into After Effects, you know the pain. So first up, native SVG import. You can now drag an SVG straight in, no converting, no Illustrator middleman, no plugins. It just works. But even better, check out what happens when we convert Illustrator layers to shapes now. In the past, this would turn your beautiful gradients into gray solid fills, but in 26.0, it preserves the gradients. Linear, radial, it doesn't matter. But the sleeper hit of this update, in my opinion, variable fonts. Stop choosing between bold and regular, as now we have sliders for things like weight, width, and even slant. And because this is After Effects, of course, everything is keyframeable. This is gonna save us so much time with things like Kinetic Typography. All right, so we've got the big features out of the way, but I found 3 hidden gems in the release notes that will literally save you hours this year. Rapid fire mode. 1, Unmult is native. Stop using blending modes that ruin your colors. Stop downloading third-party plugins, as it's finally a native effect. It removes black backgrounds, keeps these semi-transparent pixels, and it's GPU accelerated. Finally. 2, crop comp to bounds. So if you've ever had a comp that's just huge for no reason, select the layers you want, go to composition, and hit crop comp to selected layer bounds. Now it sounds boring, but I promise you, you will likely use this every single day. And 3, compressed disk caching.
So go to your settings in this After Effects menu, and under disk, there should be a new checkbox called Enable Compressed Frames, and basically it makes your previews take up less space on your drive,
which means you can now preview longer sections of your video before the green bar even stops loading. Free performance, so go ahead and turn it on. So, can you delete your 3D software? Honestly, not yet. If you're modeling characters, go ahead and stay in Blender or Maya, whatever you're using. But for motion design, product shots, and fancy typography, After Effects 2026 just removed about 90% of the friction that used to make us hate our lives. But let me know in the comments, are you actually going to be using the new 3D primitives, or are you just excited that Unmul is finally available native? Now, YouTube thinks you'll like this video here, so check that out, and I'll see you over there. Peace.